Ban Muslims soar in the polls. I'm being a little flippant to at least indicate what's the latest news in a survey, a national survey of Republican voters that now has Donald Trump at the strongest support he has enjoyed since entering this race. Look at that lead he has. This is nationally over his closest opponent, Ted Cruz. Just dwarfs the guy by a factor of 3. Former Republican presidential candidate Buchanan says that should be telling us something. And efforts, we are told, anecdotal, we are told, Washington Post news items, we are told that the establishment wants to find a way to stop this train called Trump. Might be hurting itself, might be hurting the party. Mr. Buchanan, good to have you. What do you mean by that? That Trump would be good as the nominee and is the most effective candidate of the candidates? What are you saying?
What I do mean, Neil, is that if the establishment, as they had that gathering up at the Source restaurant on Capitol Hill, attempts to frustrate the nomination of Donald Trump, if he's won the most delegates and the most votes, I think that would be political suicide for the Republican establishment, because if you take the anti-establishment vote, you add Cruz and Carson to Trump, you're talking about 70% of the party right now. Look, the establishment is being repudiated by this party, and to see the establishment attempt to reimpose one of its own on the party, I think would tear the party in half.
Now, that's what Ben Carson was saying to me on Friday, about why he was frustrated with that, because the sound of it was very, party boss mentality. But even though the party operatives supposedly involved, they're saying, no, we're not trying to fix anything. We're just looking at the possibility of a brokered convention where no one has acquired the delegates, very likely in this scenario now, to be the nominee. So what would be the harm in looking at a strategy or alternative? Abe Lincoln got the nomination in such an environment.
But look, let me tell you what would happen.
And you covered Abe Lincoln. I remember that.
Sure.
Yes, you did.
Let me tell you what would happen. Let's suppose Donald Trump comes into the nomination leading in delegates and votes, and Cruz is second. Neither's got enough. Rubio's third, and Carson is fourth. What happens is the Donald calls up Cruz and says, would you like to be my vice president in return for your delegates? And if Cruz says no, then the Donald says, what is Marco Rubio's phone number? And so what the two leaders would get together, or two people with enough to win it, get together as the ticket. The establishment, look, this is 10 minutes to midnight for the establishment, and really what they're talking about is not only absurd, it is stupid because of what the message is sending to this party.
All right, I'm going to put you down as a maybe on this strategy. But here's something I want to ask.
Sure.
Their fear seems to be born in these other numbers that show in a matchup 1-to-1 with Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump would lose. He would lose Latinos. He would lose more women. He would lose constituents that are already dicey for Republicans as things stand now.
Well,
now, the flip side is he would gain more that have never voted Republican, never voted in the past for anyone. So there is that. But what do you make of their concern that he would lead the party, as Senator John McCain has said, to calamity?
Well, look, there's a possibility. Look, there's a clear possibility Hillary could beat him. There's 18 states that have gone Democratic 6 straight times, and they got 242 electoral votes. But what Trump has going, even though he runs behind Hillary in most head-to-heads, is Trump excites the country in various parts of it. He's got a dynamic personality, and he's not a typical Republican. And I think some of the typical Republican, or the breakdowns that you know about, might not well occur. And look, let me say this. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but Hillary Clinton could be the Sonny Liston of the Democratic Party, who drops down, who's feared and who's going to win everyone. Who suddenly drops in the first round.
It could be. I love your analogies, Patrick. Thank you very, very much.